Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session on Mobile First M-Learning Masterclass. My name is Richard Wright, and probably I see quite a few familiar faces from yesterday. So welcome back, everybody. As you might know, yesterday we had the AI Masterclass, and yesterday evening we had a information session for a hackathon that's happening. So it's quite a busy week. We want to catch you early before registrations even close. Today is actually the last day of registrations. So we will definitely have more sessions in the future to get the last ones that registered as well. But today, as we mentioned, we're focusing on Mobile First M-Learning Masterclass. And this promises to be quite an exciting one where you're introduced to the Microsoft 365 app. And a lot of times, most students only have their mobile devices as their primary device. So to be able to be productive with your device is very, very critical. I can tell you, even in the workspace these days, you don't just stop with your laptop that you can carry around. Sometimes you must be really on the, when you're driving or when you're in a shopping mall, there's always something that pops up and you need to access your mobile device. And how to do it securely and safely is one of the key things that you need to know. If you go to the App Store, for instance, Android, you get a lot of apps, for instance, for simple things like scanning a PDF. But a lot of them are ad-based, and so you get swarmed with ads. It takes up all your space on your device. Where there's actually these primary productivity tools that we have, and you've got access to with your My Life account, such as Microsoft 365, that actually has all of those features built in by default with your account that you have with Unisa. So I'm going to hand over to Mr. Hopperstad. He will be taking you through the training this morning. Hopefully he's got his phone plugged in so he can give you some real demos along the way to make it really exciting. Thank you, David. Over to you.
Thanks, Richard. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yes, I'll be seeing you on Sunday, so please don't bring the germs with you from Cape Town. Right, so yes, I'm going to be demonstrating with my phone as well. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. So you'll see on my phone how I'm going to do things. So that's quite fun. Now, just in case you guys do have a laptop and you've got a cell phone, just remember, if something happens to your laptop, are you able then to use your phone for your studies, for your exams, all that type of thing? So that's why it's really, really important that you are still able to use your phone and to maximize it. And we're going to have a look at a couple of things that you guys can also share with us, really to understand how your phone is behaving, how can you check your phone. And then, of course, we are going to sort of do a quick little recap of the Masterclass 1, because there's some very important elements in there. But then we're going to obviously continue with the mobile first as we continue with today's lesson. Just another thing, please don't use your phone while driving because you're not really meant to be doing that. Just in case you thought Richard said that's a green light for that, definitely it's not. So yeah, unless you've got the hands-free click, yes, I know all those things too. All right, cool, guys. So let's continue. So please, in the chat, we have posted the pre-assessment survey, so please do complete it. It really does help us with regards to the courses that we develop and the places that you feel you need more help or assistance in. It can really make a big difference for us, so please do fill it in. We have posted it in the chat. So if you do have two devices, maybe your laptop, and that's where you're watching this event from, take out the phone and use the phone on the side and actually see all the things that we're going to be sharing with you. So please do complete, as I said, the pre-assessment survey. It's quite important. And then at the end of the course, you'll also have the post-assessment. So some of the things you saw yesterday, if you did join us, you will see it's a very common thing that we have in our courses because it just makes it easier for you to understand how the course works and, of course, the sort of features that we expect you guys to interact with. So please do complete that survey or assessment. All right, so what are we going to do today? So this is quite a fun one. So first and foremost, we're going to start with a quick recap of Mobile Learning Masterclass number 1. I'm just going to cover some of those major things that you pique your interest so that you'll know that, I must actually go do that course, and you'll see the type of things that we covered. Then we're going to delve into mobile first, which is quite important. And in the world we're in now, you'll hear a lot about mobile first and what is it? How does it work? How does it affect you? So it's quite important. Then we're going to look at some mobile learning because, with Unisa, we do have some apps and we have some apps that you shouldn't be installing. So we'll also just jump into those. And then we're going to, of course, dive into Microsoft 365. The reason being because as Unisa students, you guys are getting the software and the license. It just makes sense that we must maximize what we've been given. All right, so that's why we're going to delve into it. And we are going to create some little bit of content. And I'm going to even demonstrate using my phone that you're going to see some basic functions that can actually really help you with your studies. Because everything that you need to do apart from time management, is to keep yourself very organized. And it's a good skill to learn because, as Richard said, in the workplace, you're always on your phone and you always got emails and whatnot that you're connecting to, which is great, but also there are some negative sides to that as well. So, so we got to try and find the balance between work and personal time. Personally, I don't have my work email on my cell phone. The reason being, that's why I have a laptop and working hours, because once you've got that there, guys, you're always going to keep looking at your phone and see what email, what's urgent. You need to switch off mentally, and we'll actually delve into that as well. It is part of the mobile first pedagogy. Right, so what's the first thing you're going to do? All right, you've probably done it already because you have joined the Adolf platform. And of course, you've registered for this course. I see we do have a hand up, so you can just use the chat posted in there. If it is sound problems, we do have the YouTube link that can also work, or you can just exit, what's this thing called, Microsoft Teams, and then come back in. For some reason, Teams has some weird sound glitch sometimes when you join a meeting. So you just exit, rejoin, and hopefully that will solve that problem. All right, so let's quickly have a peep at seeing where is our Adolf platform. So I'm just going to open it, Cognito window. So give me a second. Okay, so there we go. So yes, sorry if it's a repeat from yesterday. We just want to make sure if there's any new people in, they can follow the steps. So we go to adolf.unisa.ac.za. And then you're going to see it looking like this. So all the courses will be visible. Although you'll see that it says open course, but it's going to require you to log in. So I'm going to show you how that works. Right, and you can see these courses that you're seeing right on top, the first sort of bunch, is what we call the co-curricular activities. Just to explain this to you, so these are the courses that when you've completed the course, 100% that is, you can then log into My Admin, not on the same day, just the next day. It doesn't happen that quick. But then the next day you log into My Admin that you find in My Unisa, and then you'll click on Student Admin. There's a little drop-down list, and then you will be able to see it. And what I did this morning is I actually had a quick check, and I actually took a screen grab. So let me just do that. All right, let me just squash it across. And there we go. So once you log into My Admin, you'll click on Student Admin. It'll give you a list, and there you'll see Co-Curricular Activity Report. Okay, and that's actually when you can go click on it, and then it'll generate a nice little, it's basically a web-based report. But when you want to save it, all right, or print it out, that's when the Unisa branding will automatically, and the stamp will be added to it. Okay, so just take note of that as well. I know we did get quite a few students saying they want to see all that as well. Just for interest's sake, I'm just going to show you inside Google Chrome. So if you want to print it, you just go to print. But then very importantly, under destination, just tell it print to PDF. Okay, unless you've got a printer and you want to print, and it's fine. But if you don't have a printer, just select the PDF option. You can even try the other one. Either one is fine. And then you'll click on print and then just save your file. You'll see it asks you to save it. And then you've got your record like that. Fortunately, it doesn't work on your cell phone because your cell phone doesn't have that print to PDF feature. So you kind of need to use a laptop. So Richard, I think we must just make note of that with our future training as well. All right, so let's quickly have a look. What are we looking at here? So we've got My Modules. I know we also got a lot of people, even after this session yesterday, emailing, asking, okay, I need help with My Modules. I haven't got a clue what's going on here. So there is a course that you can quickly do. It'll take you about an hour max. Really, it's quite quick, but it shows you all the things, where to find your study materials and all that type of thing. So okay, super. All right, we'll answer that question now for you. Okay, so that's My Modules. You can quickly do that one. Then closer to the exam period, we do have the basic skills for online exams. If you've never done an online exam before, this is definitely a course that you want to quickly go through. We will have training as well, similar to what we're doing today, where we demonstrate the tools. But very importantly, you can actually go work through it and get a good understanding what's happening. But before the exam period, don't do it now, guys, because you're not going to have access to, for example, it's invigilating app. If that's the one that you need to have, then you won't have a license anyway. So it's a bit too soon then. But it gives you a good idea where the resources are. And when it is time, then you can quickly jump on and do that course. There is the mobile learning, the masterclass number 1. So that's the one. I'm just going to briefly cover it. And then you'll see Masterclass number 2. We've also got her tech series. So this one we'll be hosting again in March. Where you won't see me and Richard, you'll be seeing the ladies running this event, because specifically for the ladies. Then we've got Model UN. So if you are interested in how the UN works and how we can get South African voices more heard on these platforms that people make decisions for us, then this is definitely a course you would like to learn about, because we've got experts from India who actually run it with us. The DS and these guys travel all over the world, and they are involved in Model UN and lots of young people being trained on how it works. Then we do have the AI course that we did yesterday. So there's 1 and there's 2, so you can also jump in. And then you'll see there's other different types of courses as well, like early Stone Age and fundamental skills in digital information literacy. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the library and how you get access to the information via the library, then this is also quite an interesting course to do. There are other courses as well that you can also go check out, but these are not co-curricular. These are just general freebie courses that you can do. All our stuff is free, guys. That's important. And you can share it also with anybody in your community as well. So you can also go check them out there. So once you log in, very importantly, you just select the middle option, because you're going to use your My Life details the same way you log into My UNISA. Okay, so please make sure you've claimed your account if you have registered and you haven't used it before, because it is accessible once you've registered. Right, and then you're going to enter your email address and your password, and then you'll be into the system. The nice thing is, once you've done that, it will take you directly. So once you say open the course, it'll log you in. Either way, it's fine. But then it's going to take you directly to the course that you've just clicked on. So that makes it a little bit easy. You don't have to look for it. But of course, I'm just going to show you. So here we go. So when I click on the mobile number 2, I'm just going to click on it, and then it takes me straight to the course. Just remember, all your courses will be listed under My Courses as well. So it's easy for you then to quickly have a look and see all the different courses that we've got available. All right, before I continue, I did notice a lot of students were actually again asking about the academic integrity. Okay, so we're not covering that at all. But what I can do is on the UNISA platform, the My UNISA platform, right, where you normally log in, there is an announcement, thank goodness, that they've published over here. So please, if you've got any questions regarding this one, you don't have to email us because we don't work with it at all. But there we go. There's all the information that you need about the AIC and who to contact if you've got any problems. Okay, I just thought I'd throw that one in as well. Okay, so mobile first. Okay, so let's quickly go back one step, right? So we've managed to log in. So there we go. Logged in to the course, brilliant. And you continued, you brilliant. And you've logged in with your details. The first activity, what we want you to do is, and we can please do it now, is just to go to the welcome screen. So go to, it's just over here, introduce yourself. And you'd click on it. And give it a few seconds because I see it's trying to load. Maybe everybody's doing it already. But please do go introduce yourself as well, okay? Because it's a nice little way to say hello to everybody. But as we said yesterday, and we're going to repeat, please make sure you don't share personal information. In other words, don't put your contact number or exactly where you live. You can just say which province you're in, for example. We do give you sort of a little guideline to tell you, or a little bit of information that you like to share, just for interest's sake and just to get to know your fellow students who are doing the course. All right. You'll also notice these white little circles. So that means that's a section you haven't gone through yet. So we don't want you just to jump through. So please do go and check them out, because each little thing will tell you a little bit more about the course. It's very quick, and then it'll obviously unlock as you go along. All right, so there we go. Introduce yourself. So all you're going to do here is you're going to say add discussion topic, and then you're going to type introduction. And you're just going to put in some of the information. Hi, I'm David. I'm living in Polokwane. I'm studying my master's in financial management. Something simple like that. Then you can also go see other students' posts and go have a look. I see today we've already got quite a few that have done it. So let me pick on you a little bit, Lebogang. And there we go. Okay, you're Riverside, Joburg. Okay, that's nice. Travel. Okay, nice. Travel and tourism. Awesome. Okay, cool. There we go. So there you get to meet each other, and you can even reply, say, hey, I'm also living in Gauteng. But again, guys, just remember, it's an open platform. You don't know who's on here. We think it's students, but it could be anybody. So don't meet and greet and all those things. The same rules you apply to any dating app obviously apply it here as well, because you don't know who these people are. But so keep it just on the platform. Don't go meet each other and things like that. Hey, we don't want any bad things to happen. All right. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the way the world is. Okay, so do introduce yourselves. Thank you for those guys. Thank you, Lebachan. You've already introduced yourself, so do that as well. It's also good for us just to see where students are staying and how they're accessing the course. Oh, very nice. A teacher. Excellent. So I'm not sure how you're attending if it's a teacher, unless you're taking a day off. Thank you for that. So yes, you can actually go and see all the others as well. Introducing themselves. So yeah, please do it. It's just a nice way to welcome yourself to the platform. And I see it's quite busy. Lots of people are posting. It's good to see some profile pics. You'll notice, why do some students have that? Even today, I can see Samantha and Geraldine. You guys have got your pics in place. That's because of the proctoring tools. Okay, so when you get to my exams, we'll be explaining why it's important to have proctoring tools. And of course, why do you need your profile pic there as well? Okay, so but that's just for interest's sake, if you're wondering why do some people have it and you don't. Okay, so I've already showed you how to log in, so I'm actually a little bit ahead of my own slides. But yeah, let's continue and let's quickly go and see introducing yourself. Okay, so there it is there, Richard. So if you can just maybe share this in the chat, then we can also just put it there for the students to introduce themselves. Right, so let's quickly do a recap, guys, which is quite important, just to understand what did we cover in the masterclass number 1. So it's basically got 3 units. So it's not a huge thing. As I said, these courses are very quick to work through, no more than half a day, really, because we understand data, but we also just want you to learn a skill and then to move on. So we did some things on basic mobile literacy. So maybe using the chat. Okay. When you guys think about basic mobile literacy, what are the apps that you definitely use, right, whenever you want to communicate? Use the chat, post those apps that you love to use for communication purposes. Let's see if there's any different ones that pop up today. Okay, Arswat says WhatsApp. Yes, definitely WhatsApp is one of the most common. So in the chat, guys, just post. Also Telegram. Okay, I see Telegram is quite common as well. So in the chat, just post, what are the apps that you're using for communication purposes? Let's see. Okay, lots of WhatsApp. Teams. Okay, Samantha, using Teams. That's nice. Yep, same with us, with Unisa. Facebook. Okay. Instagram. Interesting. Facebook, WhatsApps. Okay, so you can see I see a lot of Facebook. I don't know if that's my generation. Outlook. Okay, nice. Lila, you have a whole bunch that you're using. Okay, that's good. Snapchat. Okay, that's quite not such a common one. So, Mashile, thank you for that. Snapchat. Substacks. That's quite a new one, Richard. Have you heard of Substacks? Signal, yes, I've heard. Richard, have you heard of Substacks for communication?
No, not yet. I think they must introduce it to us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're actually quite curious. We'd actually like to see. Yeah, that's interesting. Something a little bit different. Signal, I have heard, okay, but I'm seeing now students are using it, so that's cool. Haven't seen Discord yet. I know that's more the gamers out there. Okay, session. Oh, session as well. Good. Zoom and Teams. Okay. Right, fantastic. So yes, so in the first unit, we do cover quite a lot of the different, Discord for when gaming, definitely, Vaynant. That's one we definitely use. So yes, so the basic literacy takes you nice and in just to sort of delve into what type of apps are you using, especially for communication. Why specifically did we put this in the course? Very easy, guys. With UNISA, we do not have official WhatsApp and Telegram channels. Okay. So when you guys get together and you say join WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups, a lot of you guys are getting into those things, finding it on the internet, wherever you're finding it, and you're joining those groups thinking it's an official platform, and it is not. And then what you do is you post, I'm doing this module, that module, I need help. there are people in those groups who are actually getting your information because they've already got your cell number because you're in the group. And then they see what modules are doing, and then they give that information to people that want to actually then sell you the exam strips and all sorts of weird things. Okay, so be very careful when you're joining those groups, guys. If it's something that your lecturer creates and it's on my UNISA, and they say to you, okay, we've got this support group that you want to join, that is okay because the lecturer has given it to you. But if it's other students and other people, be very, very careful. And that's what we just want to remind you guys, because we found out that this is a lot where a lot of the information from students has been spread all over the show is because of those groups and WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups. Why do you guys use that those software? Because why do you want to get into the Telegram groups and WhatsApps? If you are in one, why do you guys want to get there? Maybe in the chat, just let us know. Yeah, I see everybody's interested in Slack as well. I'm also quite curious. Why do you guys join the WhatsApp groups and the Telegram groups? In the chat, be brave, just post it there. If you have already joined, if you haven't, that's also fine. There we go. Riksha, you're spot on. Textbooks mainly. That's really why people pass papers, definitely. What about quick response? There we go. Zanele, perfect answer. Easy communication. You ask a question, you get an answer. Very easy to get in contact, communicate with your fellow students, interaction. That's why you guys want it. And that's why you're using it, okay? So on your phones, wherever you are, it's so easy to communicate. So this is definitely an area UNISA should be exploring a lot more in terms of how can we create groups, safe spaces where students can communicate, not teams, but something like a WhatsApp. Yes, previous papers. So yes, but the most important thing is most of where your study partners, definitely. So always check on my UNISA, my modules, and go to basically all the menu options, right? Go work through them all, announcements to additional resources, official resources, and just go check what's on there. Because sometimes in those WhatsApp groups, they do share older stuff, which is no longer relevant, but sometimes it is relevant. So I'm just saying sometimes it's always good to just go and check. And if there isn't anything there, pop an email to the lecture using your My Life email account. Okay, super. So you guys are, I'm sure you're very clued up on this type of thing. All right. So then the other element that we love to do, and I know students enjoyed doing it, was the online learning with UNISA. So one of the aspects we delve into really is device care. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you what am I talking about with device care. So I'm just going to pop it over here. So I'm using a Samsung, all right, with Android, so it should be built in. Although with other phones, it's not called device care as such. You could find it under different names. I know with Huawei, it's got a different name, but the features there, you just need to go find out with your phone. But I'm just going to demonstrate using the settings of the Android phone that I'm using, and it's a Samsung. So all I do is I go to settings. Then I scroll down a little bit and you'll see it's got a whole bunch of things. You can see some of the things like batteries already there, but what specifically I want to have a look at is device care itself. So the nice thing with Samsung is they've grouped it all together for you. So if I go click on it, then it's basically going to do a quick check to tell me how is my phone performing. Okay, so that's quite important to remember, specifically with exams, because you might need to use your phone. All right, that's why we really want to just make sure that you guys understand these features. But again, it's all covered in nice detail in Masterclass number 1. All right, so let's have a look. So battery fully charged, awesome. So that means it's connected to my laptop, so it will be charging, so that's great. Then I can look at storage. Okay, so it tells me I do have quite a bit of space available. So that's important, guys. For all the profile pictures and selfies that you do and videos and oh my gosh, all the things you're downloading, it's a good idea just to maybe delete them and make sure you got space available as well. Okay, because if you're going to do an exam, some of the apps or the Invigilator app will need some space on your device. So this is a good way to sort of keep an eye on it. Remember, the rule of thumb is 20% of this space you must try to always have available and open. because your phone will use it and it'll be more optimum. And I will show you a little bit the next one, why that's so important. So if I click on storage, for example, then I can quickly go have a look and see, all right, I've got some large files of 1.13 gig. Okay, I blame my wife on that one. She must have put videos or something of herself. Okay, so I've got some big files. I don't know where those come from. And it's a bit of a surprise. And then I can also go check out my recycle bin to make sure you empty it, because a lot of space actually sits on your recycle bin at the bottom. Hey, so make sure you emptied it as well. Just a little bit surprised about videos. And that's it was UNISA stuff, Richard. I know. But anyway, so have a look at your storage. Very important. It tells you what is eating up the space. But the biggest space eaters, definitely images, videos, documents, audio files can be. But then, of course, your apps and your operating system and other. These two you kind of can't do much with, okay? Because it's your Android or your iOS that you're using, the operating system of the device. But these ones here, you do have quite a big impact that you can actually go and make an effect on. All right, so storage, very important. Check it out. Then you've also got memory. This little fellow is actually very important because it helps your device perform. So the first thing I can see is it says I've got 1.4 gig available for memory out of the 3.8, but I've got 6 that I'm reserving. And I'm going to tell you now how to do that if you've got an Android phone. Okay, so then I can clean it. In other words, those apps that I'm not actually using, I can quickly just get rid of them. So it just clears up memory. Now this memory, guys, helps the processor basically in your phone operate. So the more it has available, the quicker it should be able to perform, because now the processor's got more that it can do. Then you've got this little feature. Now this feature is a little bit specifically to Samsung. I have not really seen it on any of the other devices we're playing with. But what this one allows you to do is it says to you, okay, you've only got a little bit of physical RAM, right? Memory in your device. But let me clean it again. But I can actually use some of your storage space as sort of a RAM, a memory of the device. But you can actually then go and set it. How much gig do you want to reserve as additional memory for your device? Now you'll see I'm currently on 6, so that means I'm maximizing it. It's virtual memory. So it's really there to help you with your device. But now you must remember what I said about the 20% storage. This 6 gig is going to be part of that 20% that you're trying to save. So it's really, really important that, and don't do this right now if you've got a Samsung, because it's going to restart your phone, just for interest's sake. But when you're done and you've got time, then if you've got this feature, do use it, maximize it, because it does make a difference how your phone will perform. So it's actually quite a nice one. So, but just note, it will actually restart your phone. Right, and then, of course, you've got diagnostics and software updates and run your threats as well, just to make sure that you don't have any viruses or any corrupt files, because that will also make a big difference. Okay, so here's the fun thing now. Okay, so that's my phone. The apps that you guys are using. We get this Austin as well. Can I install the Moodle app? No, guys. I know they're going to send you in the emails, even from the platform. Okay, so we're using Moodle as the foundation that we build all the UNISA systems on, like my modules and my UNISA and my admin. That is all built onto Moodle. So when you see Moodle, it doesn't mean you need to do anything with it. Yes, there is an app. It's generic. You might be able to set it up for the first time. But the problem is when my UNISA or my modules updates, then that app doesn't update. And then you're going to find the app is going to crash most likely or just freeze up. So if you do really, really need an app from UNISA, then there is the UNISA student app, the official one. So this one you can install, guys. I'm just going to open it quick. Then you can actually see what's available in here. So here's application, registration. There's your study material, guys. You can just log into it. It's already logged me in, I see. That's nice. Finance, assessments, which I don't have, I hope. Then you can go check your inbox to see what are they sending you. So this app, guys, you can go use. We do cover it in the Masterclass 1. So yes, feel free to actually go and play around with it. Does iPhone have the same features? Yes, you just need to find them, Moses. They've got different names. We'll see if we can actually find a cheat sheet where we can get all those type of apps. Yes, so, oh no, what is happening there? Unisa app also freezes and crashes. Oh no, that does not sound good. Shucks, I wonder who the contact is for the Unisa app. Please just send us an email and maybe a screen grab as well. I'm just going to put it in the chat. I'll try and find the colleagues that developed the app. And try and figure out what is happening on your side. But also tell us what phone you're using, the Android version, that type of thing as well. If you're not too sure, guys, there is a way to check on your phone. Give me a second. I'll quickly show you now. So if you go to your settings and you go to the end, use normally something at the bottom. I'm going to be a little bit squashed for space. About phone. If you click on there, it generally will tell you the name of the phone, that type of thing. So that's useful information. There's the software information. Okay, so just do screen grabs of this as well and send it to us so that we can send it to the developers. Because obviously it can't be crashing if your phone is A-OK and it's working well. That means there's something on the development side. So, okay, I see you guys say it does crash. Ooh, that's not good news. All right. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about, and we find this a lot when we do exam training, where students will tell us, I'm using Google Chrome, all right, and I'm doing XYZ, and it's very slow or doesn't connect. Here's the interesting thing. I've opened Google Chrome over here. That little 2 there means, oh, there's Betway, wonderful. That basically means I've got 2 pages open in my Chrome browser. Here's a fun little game I want to do with you. Can you guys open on your phone? Please go to Google Chrome itself and tell me what number are you seeing when you look at it. Put it in the chat. Let's have, I have a record. I want to see if anybody beats that record today. 11, okay, that's not great. 25, it's getting worse. 22, okay, you guys are not bad yet. Let's see what other numbers come up. 40, Lila. 29, 38, you shouldn't be smiling. 53, oh no, Pusiswe, 86, no, you're killing your phone. Okay, cool. So you guys didn't beat the record yet, Richard. The record we got in vol was 97. So far we got 86 as the highest. That means, guys, if you're using Google Chrome for your exam, you've got 96 or 7 pages like this that are sitting in there eating memory that will actually need resources from your phone. So that's the danger. Good, a smiley face is awesome. 99, oh no, that's horrible. So what you need to do is, guys, close all these things. Ideally, don't have any open. Just the one that you're going to use for exams. Okay, if you need to use exams and you're going to write this way or whatever it's going to be, or your My Modules, My Unisa, guys. Because those 99s, those 40, 116. Well, man, you haven't cleared out your phone in ages then, guys. That is very important. So you need to close those 116 tabs because it will eat resources and it'll eat your internet and it will slow it all down. So, guys, you do need to go and maybe delete your browsing data as well. Also, that's why we like to show you this. If there's any problems with My Modules, guys, please just go delete your browsing data. If you're logging in and it doesn't go all the way, then that's the problem. Then you kind of have to delete it. It's a good thing, rule of thumb, with deleting. So please don't worry. Delete your cookies quite often with Unisas. Even the guys that have problem with the apps, maybe just reinstall it. Hopefully that will solve the problem there. Okay, so that's really what we covered in the basics of Masterclass number 1. And as you can see, there was a lot of things that you guys would have done that might help. I just loved some of the emotion emojis coming through here. That's a bit scary, but yes, we've got a new record. You see, Richard. All right, so yeah. So yes, if you use Edge, you can also do that. Although what we're finding, Samantha, is that Edge isn't bad. It's actually really, really good. But when it comes to exam platforms, we prefer students to use Chrome because it doesn't give us as many issues. Yes, Felicity, that's a good question. That is your MSG store, that is from WhatsApp. So basically it's backup files that is actually just sitting there on your device. So if you've got a backup with your My Life, then by all means you can actually delete those files. You don't need to worry about them. Okay, because I do see that also, and they do steal a lot of data as well. Okay, so that was just a quick roundup of the first module. Now we're going to jump right into Unit 1, where we're going to be tackling what is this first design, and you'll actually see why this has actually become so important. Since COVID, it really took off very fast. So we're going to quickly have a look and define what is mobile first design and why is it so important to our context. And that's quite interesting. Then we're going to identify and describe some of the principles. Okay, so we'll have a look at those. We'll evaluate some of the practical applications that you're already using. We'll have a look at those. And then we can also apply some strategies to make sure that your experience is as good as it possibly can be. Okay, so what is mobile first? Well, first and foremost, guys, this is a global thing. It's not just a South African thing, but it is a pedagogical approach. In other words, how do we build or design apps? Now, before we had the COVID scenario, mostly apps were designed on your desktop and then pushed through to servers and then pushed through to your mobile devices, which means your mobile devices were never designed for those apps and they generally struggled. Okay, most of them were horrendous. So when this technology now changed, and you see the whole technology shift that's happened, now the approach is very different because people are very mobile and you tend to do absolutely everything on your mobile device. Yep, we've got students who've completed their degrees, guys, using just a mobile phone, not laptop, nothing else, no computer labs, just a phone. And they have complete, and they're even proud to say, this is how I did it. So it is possible. So the design now is changing. In other words, what we're doing is we're designing the apps for the phone, and then we're exporting it to servers, which means the desktop then will be able to access it. So it's the other way around. So, which is great. Why? Because if it works on a smaller device, it'll definitely work on your website, on your Chrome or your Edge on your laptop. And that makes it easy because then it's easy to work. Responsive designs is critical. And you guys have already just said it. The thing crashes on me. If an app crashes on you, what's the likelihood that you're going to go back to it again? Unless it's like a banking app and you really need it, then you, of course, you want to resolve it. 367 tabs open, Lebogang. That is incredible. Please send me a screen grab of that. I want to use it, please, in our future training. I don't know how your device is working, Lebogang, but that's crazy. That's a record. Wow. Thank you for that. So responsive design means it needs to be interactive, it needs to be quick. One thing I notice is with younger generation, if I click on something and it doesn't respond, I tend to close it. I get disinterested. I want the thing to respond very quickly to me. And that's actually one of the principles of mobile first. Accessibility is also key, but not just accessibility for us as people, but also for people who have got special needs or disabilities. They also want to have those features as well and be able to easily move around with the device. And we've seen the technology is awesome, especially of AI is changing that field. Micro-learning is a big thing. I'm sure you guys would have seen it, where you do a little bit of courses, very short and sweet, pretty much what you're doing with us. These are very much micro lessons. You do it a couple of hours, you're done, you've learned the skill, and you moved on. I'm sure you've seen platforms like Udemy. There's a whole bunch of them that offer courses and micro courses. Offline access has become huge because data is very expensive, especially in South Africa. That's why it's critical that you are able to download things and go offline and work and then go online. Okay, so definitely that is a big challenge, especially with us, because our data is very, very expensive at this point, and it's still very expensive. And I'm so relieved someone up there has decided that data shouldn't expire. It's not bread. I mean, it's data. For what reason does it need to expire for? So I'm so glad that hopefully now will come through and we won't have our data expiring anymore. That to me was just a ripoff. Anyway, gamification. Yes, gamification. Thank you, Lebogang. Wow, that is just, wow. Okay. That is just impressive, but not in a good way. All right, so gamifications also become fun. What we notice is in some of our courses, we do have gamification, and you're going to see on my modules, you'll see there's a leaderboard, you'll see experience level pops up, and we find students have become very competitive and they want to be top of that leaderboard, and that forces you to complete the course that you're doing. It's a very common thing, but it also makes it a bit fun. All right. So, I mean, if you just look at text all the time, and then you'd look at a course like AIC, I know it's a little bit long, interesting. So when you guys get into my modules, go have a look at the courses there. And you've done the AIC course and you've seen how interactive it is there. It's quite different. All right. Which one do you prefer? AIC, interactivity, or my modules? Okay, it's very early in the semester. We'll ask you again later in the semester, what do you see as the differences? Because I think immediately you're going to pick up. I know the AIC is very long if you have done it, but it's a lot of interactivity. So it makes it fun learning, videos, interaction, questions, that type of thing. Push notifications also very, very big. I know there is a project which luckily started last year. So you should get an SMS when it's assignment due date time, or at least 7 days before, or something like that. So that was something that started from last year. So hopefully this year it will continue. And that's great to remind students that, hey, you've got to submit 1, 2, 3, because it's part of your planning timetable, but life gets busy, and that's the catch. The nice thing about mobile first, guys, it's centered around the student, not the server or the developers, but actually around the student. How does it help the student? And that's the key from developing everything. So the My UNISA app is designed around the student, although if it's working, but again, it's kind of newish. So we do need to give feedback to the development team so they can figure out exactly where the problems are. Because with anything with software, guys, it will change. You'll have to fix it. You'll improve it. And so it goes on. Ah, very nice. Yes, that's exactly the reason. We don't want to forget assignments, because that does affect our studies. There was a little bit of research done last year specifically about mobile first design, but specifically also when we had the terrible load shedding. So what they were looking at was, when we have load shedding, which sort of provinces were going to get nailed the most in terms of the mobile devices, because those people only have a mobile device for connectivity. You know those old phones? Now I'm testing your age. You know the ones you used to pick up in your house that had a hard cable running through to the telephone wires? Do you guys still have any of those at home? Maybe Coco or Granny or Opa might have. Okay. Most people don't have those old phones anymore. We only use cell phones. So it was very interesting, this research report, and it basically said which provinces had the least mobile devices, which still used the older technology, which is pretty much the Eastern Cape. But KwaZulu-Natal had the highest. But the problem there was, when load shedding hits, you have no connectivity. So even the batteries for the towers were failing completely. So it was very interesting research, that one. So it's actually in the course. You can actually go read the research paper. But it really just highlights that even though we've got this technology, we still got the fundamentals. And if it's not in place, it's a mess. So yeah, so the landline, you still have the landline. Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah, there's not many people that have landlines anymore because of mobile devices. Right, let's continue. What are the benefits, guys? So you've already hinted at some of the benefits, because A, the user is the priority now when we're designing these apps, because it makes life easier for you. If you look at the Microsoft 365 app, that's a classic example of mobile first design, because it's actually designed around the user. And when we do that, I'm going to show you, and you'll see for yourselves, okay, this is how it's working. Performance in data is really critical, especially with us. Now, here's the catch. Who developed Microsoft Teams? Okay, Microsoft, where they're based? America, great. What type of minimum standard internet do they use there? And that's the biggest difference. For them, they've got lightning fast fiber speed, long time ago. Okay, so for them, the minimum entrance is a very fast internet connection. Whereas here in South Africa, we struggle with MS Teams, although it's got a lot better, is because it wasn't designed for us and our data, lack of data access, if you can put it that way. So hence, Teams is very, very hungry when it comes to internet connections. So that's the problem that we sit with. However, if you look at YouTube, very different. It does eat data, but you can control it. Even your DSTV app, you can actually go and say, change the quality based on how much data I'm going to use. So that's mobile first. In other words, we're looking at the user side and saying, oh, bugger, and saying that, okay, how do we make it more efficient based on the conditions that we're sitting in as well? Accessibility and inclusivity, guys, is critical as well. As I said, it cannot just be the old way of doing things. We do need to have apps that speak to any type of user. So whatever disability, they're blind, deaf, whatever it may be, the app needs to be able to talk to it. I know there are a lot of softwares out there like JAWS, and there's another free one, I can't think of its name, that actually speaks to you and things like that. So that's awesome, because that's how technology can help, and especially AI. Very, very cool. So there's lots of different things coming that way as well. The CEO benefits, guys, search engine. So that's also important, because when you're searching for things like UNISA mobile app, you should get the app that you're looking for. That means the setup has been correctly done. If you get other apps that are not UNISA apps and you're using those keywords, that means there's something wrong, and students are going to install the wrong app. Classic example, and we find this also in exam training. This little green L is the Invigilating app. If you'd search Invigilator, you're going to find a whole bunch of different apps. It's going to be all the wrong ones. If you say the Invigilating app, then you're going to find the correct one. And it looks like this. So when you get to exam time, if you need this tool, we will be showing you how to use it, but take note. Find the right app. So be careful of the keywords that you're typing in. Right. And then, of course, scalability enhancement is also very critical. I know with back in the day, this is like around about COVID time, after COVID, when it was assignment due date, the systems would crash because everybody was trying to submit. So ICT came up with a very clever plan to load balance, to have additional servers, and of course, the whole design of the system then changed as well. So which allowed less downtime. So hopefully we don't have much more downtime. Although last year it was pretty good, didn't crash very often. So that means a better user experience for the students. So yes, but hopefully it's still not enough, I guarantee you. But yeah, they need to keep working. It's something that will continuously change. It's never one fix and it will work forever. So yeah, so that's sort of the catch about scalability. But I think they've got a good way of doing it now. They balance out when are due dates of which modules. So hopefully that can keep going. Let's have a look. You guys most likely would have dealt with a lot of these platforms already. Which government portals do you often use? You can just post it in the chat. The government one specifically. Which government portals do you work or use? There's one that works unbelievably brilliantly. I want to see if anybody picks it up. Treasury. Okay, good. That's the interesting one. Sibungile, yes, that's the one. SARS, yes, our best friend. And it's amazing how that website works. It's the most amazing site in history of planet Earth because it works so well. So yeah, so that is so interesting. Okay, so yeah, SARS mostly. I don't see anybody saying SASA. I don't even know if SASA actually even works online or not. But yeah, SARS is definitely the one we pick up. Okay, nice. WCED portal, also pretty good. R2, okay, nice. PayCity, okay. Oh, that means you got a traffic fine, probably. SARS, okay. Okay, so there are some good sites out there. Okay, that's good to see. University websites, okay. Which ones do you go? Municipal traffic. University websites. If you have studied at another university, okay, now you're doing My UNISA, My Modules, the application system. So UNISA websites are quite often. CPIC as well, yep. Also, the ADOF platform, you guys can put it under university sites. Okay, so that one you guys are already dealing with. What other e-learning platforms have you used before? I already mentioned one, Udemy, right? Have you studied or used another e-learning platform. Uganda, awesome. Thanks, Moses. That's quite interesting. Now I know where you're from because you did mention the time element. E-learning platforms, guys. Let's see. Cisco, nice. Allison, good. LinkedIn, yes. LinkedIn Learning, yeah, big one. Coursera, yes, another one. edX, yes. Okay, so there's quite good ones there as well. Online banking. You don't have to tell me which bank you're with. That's fine. But I'm sure by now you're all using banking on your phones, right? I think that's a common thing now. And that's why it's so important to protect your phone and make sure that it locks. Do you guys have authentication set up on your phones? I know at UNISA we use MFA, multi-factor authentication, and you can use the Microsoft app. That is very, very important in today's day and age. Okay, so make sure you're working or it's working properly. If it's not, contact your closest, nearest campus and go and see the computer lab guys there, the digital learning advisors. They'll help you set it up. All right, the next fun one, and I know you guys are all going to tell me there's a name, I know it's coming up. The e-commerce platforms. Which e-commerce platforms do you guys use? It starts with a big capital T, and I'm sure you're all using it. Takealot. Yep, that's not the one I'm talking about, but it also has the T. Amazon, yes, we also use it. Zulzi, that's a new one. I don't know that one. Aha, thank you, Melody. Temu. Shopify, TikTok, Shein, Temu. Okay, yeah. So there's so many apps out there. It's always good just to make sure, guys, that you are on the right website before you use it, because there are a lot of fakes out there that look similar, but always look for those little things. And it's small little things that make it actually different. But yeah, so okay, I see you guys are all shopping away with Shein and Temu and stuff like that. Okay, that's cool. Right, so responsive design, guys. It's actually so interesting when you look at a website. How does it work? How does it fit in? So in the course, we actually go and tell you about these different types of elements. In other words, fluid grids. How does it adapt to your size? So in other words, the UNISA website, when I go onto my laptop, this is how it looks. But when I jump onto my phone, does it automatically resize itself? And yes, it should. Okay, because it's most likely running in the browser, but the app itself isn't too bad. Flexible images. Okay, I don't know if you've ever noticed when you go on a website, right, on your phone and the image quality just falls away. But on your desktop, it actually looks pretty good. So that's also something that's quite important. Media queries, how quickly do you get, basically the videos, how does it adapt to your phone? One thing that's really cool is with Android and all these iOS as well, and even Huawei, if you watch the quality of your YouTube video on your cell phone, sometimes it's even better than it looks on a TV, for example, because it's designed for a smaller device now. Okay, so the platforms are designed for smaller devices because that's where people use it. Mobile first approach is so important. You design it for the phone before it becomes available to the desktop. So it's not like before where it was the desktop, you design it and then you hope that it works on the phone. Then that's why we are using this. Also your typography, tongue-tied, that basically means can I make the text bigger and smaller? Okay, that we actually cover in the first unit, where you can use your fingers to enlarge and zoom in and zoom out. You've got your meta tags, which is something, just to explain, when you're searching, the meta tags is what the search engine is actually looking for, because it helps to describe what your site or your content's about. Happens in the back end, but it's just good to know. And it's a term that you always hear that people speak about. And of course, the content itself, it must be usable, easy to work through, as much as anything that you're going to be doing. So that really covers then Unit 1. Right, so if you've gone through it, that's pretty much what we're covering. Unit 2. Okay, so now we look a little bit more at the UNISA side of things. And I mean, we've already looked at the app, and unfortunately, some of you guys had a problem with it. Okay, so have you guys all accessed your My UNISA accounts yet? So just use the chat, say yes, because that's going to be your starting point with UNISA. And I think a lot of you guys, that's definitely the first place you need to be going to. Okay, that's great stuff. I see everybody's really on board on my UNISA. Okay, cool. Is it easy to find information there? So when you logged into my modules, is it easy to find the information? Or do you find it's a bit tricky? Gee, lots of yeses coming through. Okay, so one of the designs is, and of course, remember my UNISA, yep, it's definitely a bit tricky. The thing with my UNISA is, and I'm actually just going to open it quickly. This one, but I can quickly log in. So I'm just going to log into my modules. See, the design of this little fellow, right? Because it was before COVID, which means it wasn't designed for mobile devices specifically. It was designed for laptops, desktops. So when you start looking at your modules, right? The one thing that you're going to find is there's no consistency. So if I open this module and I look for the materials, sometimes I find it here, sometimes I find it there, sometimes it's in the actual lesson. So with each module, guys, you kind of need to go and explore and go and check every single thing that's there. Very importantly, always check the announcements as well, because it will tell you who's posting and what is said. So that's kind of like a weekly thing you're going to need to do. So that's quite important. So, but ideally, guys, it will change. This design is hopefully going to change fairly soon. Let me just go to the Northeastern region. That's my home base region, just to see their website. So what will happen is you might find that under my modules, you might find your region that you're in. There'll be a website that will automatically be added. It's not a course. It's simply just a website that actually gives you information about the region, who to contact. See, there's the contact numbers, there the email addresses. So it's easy for you then to get hold of the people there. Very nice. My UNISA is very simple to understand. Excellent. That's good news. It has definitely changed quite a lot over the last 20 years. Well, not really 20 years, like 10 years. It's 15 years. It's been around for a while. I think I just joined before it actually came out. So have a look at the regional support site that you do have, because it is important. And then, of course, you'll find things like, where's that library gone? Where is the library? Library. I'm just trying to find my library. Not this library. It's a different library. Oh, no, there it is. Oh, okay, they changed it. Have you guys used the library site? Because it has changed since last year. Okay, trust me, the first version was very difficult to use. It was just throwing stuff at you all over the show. This version now, you can see it's changed quite a lot. So if you've used the library way back, you're actually going to find it looks a lot neater and tidier. Let's find the book quickly. I just want to see, interest sake, how do the results come out? Let's just see, what does it pop up with? Okay, so this one has been upgraded quite a bit. Yeah, you can see the interface is more up to date. Here's a journal article. So this is quite important with your studies, guys. As much as AI can help you, but it also makes up things, as we told you, always cross-reference. How do you cross-reference? Google Scholar, library, and go check up the actual documents that AI is saying. Yeah, it is frustrating, but I hope this version is better than the previous one, because the previous one was very complicated. All right, so also what I do suggest is please contact your nearest region, because I know they do specifically library training. Yes, we do need training on the library, 100% Samantha. So yes, they do it. So the library, just contact your nearest campus, because it'll most likely be on Teams, but if it's face-to-face, that's also fine. And actually go attend one of their training sessions, because it really, really will help you, because you do need to understand, how do I find the books? How do I find the resources? All that type of information. So it's kind of will be very critical as you go on with your studies, especially if you're going to do postgrad, guys, your research and your articles. You definitely need to know how this system works. Okay, so I just threw that at you as well. But I see there is a new platform. It does look a little bit better than the previous version. Support and administration, very importantly, guys, we get this a lot as well. Who do I know? Who do I need to contact when I've got issues, administrative issues? Go to inquiries. So on UNISA's page, you'll click on inquiries. There is the toll-free number, but I think that toll-free number is only if you're using a landline, if I remember correctly. There are like data. There's a classic question. I didn't receive my data. Who do I email? There is the data queries. But remember, guys, please use your My Life email. Otherwise, Gmail, it gets blocked. Okay, if you put there money and it sees Gmail, the spam blockers are going to think you're trying to get money from the UNISA and it'll block you. So yeah, check that out. So there's the contact details. There are the managers as well. The details are there. Nice. Student admissions requirements. So there we go. So got it all nice grouped. You can see which college you belong to. I hope you guys do know which college you belong to. I've seen some very funny college names over the years. So just take note of the names of the colleges where you're studying. There are their contacts. Assignment admission, guys, that's an important one. If you've got any challenges, exams, but that will be covered in exam period. And if you go all the way down, there's your finance, there's your college specific, and then, of course, regional centers, which is also the critical resource for you as a student. Yes, the Eastern Cape, for example, and there's the computer lab. There we go for East London. These guys are very critical for your studies. So if you do have the opportunity to go to a campus, go meet the people there, get their email addresses, not just this generic one, because the day you've got problems, at least then you know this is the person in the library in East London can help me. Okay, you need that bubble of people around you when you're studying distance education. There's Gauteng, KwaZulu, Northeastern, so all the regions are there. Just for interest's sake, guys, Midlands. If you see the word Midlands, you don't know where that is. That is Bloemfontein, so that's Free State, Northwest Province, Northern Cape. Makes up Midlands. Northeastern is not Nelspruit, Mpumalanga, and Limpopo. Okay, the rest of the regions are quite straightforward. The names are the provinces themselves. So just take note of that as well. Okay, great. Digital resources like library, we've had a look at that. Use Google Scholar. It's pretty good. There are some others that are also good, but always cross-reference, guys. That's the most important thing. I know you're using AI, but ask it. Give me verifiable resources or references or articles, because it's also good at doing that. The learning management system is key. My modules, we just showed you on the Adolf platform. There is a course you can quickly run through. It's your first time. Make sure you understand how it works. Well, the nice thing about the UNISA platform and studying at UNISA, like Moses that's from Uganda, you can actually study wherever you are in the world, guys. Interestingly, Richard mostly, but Richard and myself, we did exam training last year and the year before. And with exam training, we can actually pick up where are you sitting in the world, okay? Not going too deep, but we can basically have an idea that you're in Europe or America, Asia, wherever it is. Most of our students are sitting all over the world studying because you're working, you move around, so it is possible to study. And that's the great thing. Of course, then the time element, like Moses reminded us yesterday, the time element becomes a bit of a trick because we're in South Africa time zone and you might not be in the same time zone. So you always also got to adjust and make sure the marketing is done correctly, that students are aware that if you're in a different part, that how does it affect me in terms of the time element? So that's very, very important. Yes, we do have a student. I don't know. I wonder if the student has graduated, but there's a little island just above Australia, and we actually had a student writing his exams there. I just want to know, how does he going to graduate? That's my interest question for him, because that means that's a very far distance to travel. But anyway, it was just interesting to see that where are mostly our students, and quite literally, guys, they're all over the world. Communication and collaboration. So yes, we do. Within my UNISA, you do have discussion forums, so do use those. You can easily collaborate and meet up with other students there. But one thing for sure is please make sure you access your My Life email and only use your My Life, because it's really, really difficult. Midlands is not Pietermaritzburg, is part of KwaZulu-Natal. So Midlands is a different, those three provinces that I mentioned. Hey, so that's, I'm glad you've seen that. So yeah, My Life email's very, very critical. So you do need to be able to access it. All right. Multimedia interactivity, this will always change with UNISA as we develop things, like you've seen with the AIC course. You've got a lot of interactivity there. So now when you start doing your UNISA courses, you're probably going to find it's less so. But yeah, it does make it fun. And I'm sure you guys do enjoy that interactivity in your courses. Okay, now I want to ask from you guys. I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 minutes. Look at this image. And I want you to post in the chat, give it a title, but explain to me, how did you come up with that title? So I'm going to give you a few minutes because you're obviously going to need to type, but have a look and see what you come up with. Okay, so I'm not going to, well, I don't want to describe the picture at all at this point, but I just want to see if you guys can look at this image, describe it, give it a title, and basically, why did you come up with that title? I'm going to give you exactly maybe 2 minutes. Okay, so let's have a look. All right, so very interesting, and I love doing this exercise when we actually do face-to-face training. Because the first thing I usually ask students is, which province do you think this is? And mostly people love to say Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal because of the houses and because of the landscape. So let's have a look and see, what did people say? Closing the digital divide gap. Yes. Happy family watching a movie on a laptop. Netflix. Brilliant. I love some of what you guys are saying here. Accessibility learning that transcends generations. I love that. That's a brilliant answer. Technology bringing families together. Yeah, very nice. Connectivity without bounds. Very nice. So you guys have come up with some brilliant names here. Very nice. 3 different generations. Yes. Look, probably the mom, the dad, and the youngest kid, so the grandchild. That's excellent. Very nice. Very, very nice. I see a lot of interesting ideas and answers. Yeah, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, it always comes up, that one. But I think it must be the houses. I don't know why, but everyone refers to the houses. Mpumalanga, okay, nice. Northwest even. Oh, okay. It's possible, can be from anywhere because this was AI generated. So yeah. Here's an interesting thing, and I see nobody really said anything. The person that's missing here is the mom. Are they maybe having a Teams or a Skype call or whichever type of technology they're using, having a call with the mom? Could well be. You never know. But it's interesting. Yeah, different way of looking at it. But yeah, it looks really fun. And the most interesting thing is, guys, is who's holding the technology? It's the parents and the grandparent. Who's using the technology is the youngster, the child. And that's exactly how it is in your family as well. Most kids really know what's happening with technology. So yeah, there we go. So it's a lovely picture. Thank you for all the titles. Really, really looks cool. So yeah. Yes, the young child. Awesome. So let's quickly continue with My UNISA. Okay, so guys, make sure you access your My UNISA. Make sure you go see your modules, do a bit of exploring. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, I see he's got headsets in. You're quite correct, but knowing youngsters, they probably were listening to their music or something. So yeah, well done. That was actually well picked up. Announcements. Yep, check your announcements. I would suggest just have your My Life email account because you're studying on your Copilot, which I'll show you in a minute or two. We're going to have a look at Copilot. You can also access your Outlook there as well. So it's just good to see those announcements because remember, those announcements that you get on email are actually coming from the platform itself. So either way, it's the same information. Have a look at your assessment tools, but always check up those notices, guys, because that will always tell you what's happening at the university. There was something about fake payments or something on those lines. So that's kind of concerning when you see things like that. Let me just go back. So when you get strange messages and things, then you must always go look here and see, okay, is there something happening at UNISA before you respond? For example, here, fraud alert, whatever is happening. So, yep, have a look at this because you just don't want to be caught out with something like that. So announcements on the platform are quite important as well. And you can see what events are happening as well at the institution. So, yep, those are quite important. So, yep, but I'm sure by now you guys are engaging with this as well. So official channels, guys, please always use your My Life. If you've got a problem with My Life, then try to get to the nearest computer lab and those guys will be able to help you out. So your communication always comes there. You can collaborate. Of course, security is always a concern. So that's why we prefer you guys to make sure that you have MFA in place, that authentication, so that it doesn't block you or people can't use your device and hack you and things like that. Okay, so what are the challenges? We actually hinted at this right in the beginning when we started. And I told you guys I don't have my work emails on my personal device for the very reason when I'm off my laptop, I need to be off work. Unless it's urgent, critical, end of the world scenario, then the manager can phone me on my phone through WhatsApp. That's fine. And then we can respond and get, if it's urgent, we're serving students, so we will jump in. But if it's not, then I really don't need to know about it until the next work day. Psychological and health. This is actually becoming a huge, huge problem, guys. And as I said before, people are not switching off from work because you see your phone, you see the things coming in, and you're constantly engaging. So you do need to break away from work, guys. It's absolutely critical. It's unfair for a person to work Monday to Sunday, all the hours. It's not possible. We will burn out. We are seeing this a lot. We are seeing people in the workplaces simply burning out, too much work because they're not switching off. Not necessarily too much work, but it might be work at the wrong time when it's coming there, and then the person says, oh, I need to do this, and they get on their computer. You have to balance work and life, guys. I know the counseling unit do normally have workshops, and there is contact information as well. So if you're finding yourself that you need help, there is the counseling unit, guys, at UNISA. You can book a Teams meeting with them, not just about your studies. They can help you with that as well, but they can also help you with personal matters as well, because they are trained, they are in that profession. Device limitations is always a problem. Certain devices, it's very difficult to read. How many of you guys have had your eyes tested, at least in the last year? Put in the chat, yes or no. When in the last year, have you had your eyes tested? Yes or no? Okay, so it's yes and no's coming in here. Right, bad news, guys. If you're using laptops, desktops, definitely cell phones, once a year, please go have your eyes tested. It's very important. Okay, because your eyes, unfortunately, with devices, smaller devices, it is going to harm your eyes at some point. So please go have them checked once a year. And if you do need to wear spectacles, you guys will look good in it anyway. Richard, when last have you had your eyes tested for interest sake?
Only with driver's licenses.
Nice one. Only for driver's license. So that means what, 5 years ago?
No, that would have expired already. 2 years.
Okay, so Richard does it once every 5 years. Okay. All right, so the other challenge you've got is data costs, connectivity. All right, so that's a major issue. And we have to be realistic. That data is very expensive. But as I said, at least now there is some common sense that data shouldn't expire. All right. I think with UNISA students, you guys will get data during exam times. I don't know if they have communicated yet about the data scenario, but I'm sure it will come through soon enough because the semester's starting. So, yep, connectivity, as I said, my own experience, KwaZulu-Natal in a rural area, beautiful phones, lovely people, but if there's load shedding, they're completely off. There's nothing that can work. So, yep, that was quite interesting. So connectivity, again, is always going to be a problem. Definitely during exam times. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the agreement is. They have not really updated us that I can see about the data issue. But someone said only during exam time. So, but ideally we want you guys, but please try and see if there's a computer or campus close to you where you're staying, because they do have all the facilities there. Load shedding isn't a problem because they've got generators, they've got all those things. And of course, digital literacy gaps. That's actually become interesting. And we picked this up actually in the computer labs. When we tell a student that comes in for assistance, okay, sit down at the computer and quickly log into your MyLife email. When they get to point typing in the @ symbol, the student immediately stops and they don't know how to do it. Why is that the case? On their phone, they know how to use it. They can access the email, they can type emails, everything. Put them in front of a desktop or a laptop, all of a sudden the student doesn't know how to interact anymore because the keyboard works differently from the phone. It's very, very important, guys. You need to know how to use your phone as much as your laptop and your desktop. You cannot just work with one. That makes it very, very difficult for you. Yes, it's very understandable, Mokoena. If you stay very far from campus, data is definitely going to be a struggle. I don't know how you're going to solve that. So, guys, you do need to know, because in the workplace, you might not have a phone only to work with. You might actually have a laptop or a desktop that you actually need to use. So as much as we're teaching about phones, please make sure you also do have those skills as well. Yeah, there are local libraries. Yes, that's true. Okay, thank you for that, Kanisina. That is true. There are libraries, but try to see where other resources that you've got available as well for internet connectivity. Okay, so that's the end of Unit 2. So there we covered quite a bit of interesting information. And now we're going to dive straight into Microsoft 365, the mobile app. Do you guys have it installed already on your devices? Just say yes or no. Have you installed the Microsoft 365 app? I know the name keeps changing. Let me check. What is the latest name? Okay, now it's called M365 Copilot. Okay, so that's the name of the app now. Okay, so Nitsa, you saying no. So today's a good day to install it. I see a lot of yeses are coming in, so that's awesome. Okay, there's quite a few no's as well. A lot of yeses, a lot of no's. Okay, it's about 50-50. Okay, this app, guys, because you've got a MyLife email account and you've got a license and you've got Copilot license, use it. Benefit from it, guys. It's there. It's available to you. Make the most of it. So what happens? You're going to install the app. So it's quite, I think it's about 20 or 30 megs. So it's not huge. So you're going to need to use it, install it on your smartphone. If you're going to put it on your laptop, just trying to make it work on my laptop. Okay, for your laptop, you can, I think, if I remember correctly, you can go to office.com and you can log in there with your MyLife details. See if so. Just try that out, log there in, and you should be able to access it. What do you mean we've got a license? Okay, so what that means is because Microsoft is a partnership with UNISA, you have got access to a license that allows you to access like Copilot and Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all those apps through the app and obviously through office.com as well. So that's what we mean by a license. You've got an entry-level license, which gives you very limited things you can access. But then with UNISA, because you're a student, you get a license that means you've got more programs you can access. The licenses last as long as you are a UNISA student. So when you're no longer a UNISA student, then they downgrade your license to the entry-level one. So your OneDrive, your OneNote, that type of thing, you will still have access to, but anything that requires sort of paid subscription, if you like, then those features will fall away. So unfortunately, that's how Microsoft is. And I know since last year, they've become very, very strict. You'll notice the OneDrive space, it was 5 terabytes, and now it's down to 2 terabytes because they were giving us way too much space. And of course, then it costs UNISA money, so hence they downgraded us. So that's the fun thing about the whole license element. But if you do purchase your own, then at least you've got it for that time period. But this is how they make money, guys, Microsoft and all these guys. So the initial setup, so when you install the app, you'll have some basic steps that come through, but there's some very important information here that you must always check. When it says get started, there's not much. You just say get started. It's fine. It talks about privacy, which is very important. Then it says about getting better together. In other words, sharing your information with it. Then it says powering your experience. So basically in the installation step, the first few little pages you're going to see when you install the app, it's really just going to home in and tell you a little bit more about the app and the license and the terms and conditions. I mean, nobody even reads those things, to be perfectly honest. But then there's a little thing that pops up, and this is what you need to be aware of. Don't send optional data or send optional data. So they actually gather information from you when you're using this app, if you tell it and you allow it to accept and send optional data. If it crashes, you normally find there's always that message about let us know what the crash was and we will send us a report and that type of thing. We'll gather information on your behalf to understand the crash. So those are the type of little things that you must be very aware of. Exactly like Richard said yesterday as well in the AI training, if you didn't attend, you must be very careful with AI. And when it says to you, this data, we're going to use it to be trained on. In other words, whatever you feed it, I'm going to use it with the new model. Those little things pop up here. So currently, when you use the free version, it will use your data. When you log into AI or these apps, it shouldn't be using your data. But that doesn't mean in the future they are going to change the terms and conditions that you won't be aware of, because you simply just say accept, but you're not reading the 20 pages of text that's in front of you. So you've got to be very careful with such things with the data. Yes, I know they say they respect your privacy and all that type of thing, but at the end of the day, data is huge money. All right. Wherever you get data, it's really, really big money. So that's why they are doing this. When you log in, normally it'll change, guys. When I created this slide, for example, when I logged in the first time, it took me over here, but now it's not there anymore. Now it goes straight to Copilot because that's the thing that they're busy telling the world about. So hence, they're going to push it there. So the startup page does look a little bit different. Let me just move this thing out the way. See, it's popping up in all the wrong places. Okay, so the search interface used to be there. It is still there, but it's not the landing page anymore. You can go and install Outlook. So there are additional apps that you can go and install, like Outlook and Word and PowerPoint and all that type of thing that you can actually then use on your device itself. And that's a lot of students install Outlook and then they set up with their My Life email account. That's just to make it a little bit easier in terms of communication. You can go also look at the settings. There's a number of settings that you can have a look at. Things like how does it look like, the shape, the badges, the color variants. I mean, those are fun for you to do. There is an option over here called Reset Microsoft 365. We were in Laval last year and we had a student who had a problem with her app and she couldn't log out. So that was the option that we used, because then it erased everything and then from there she could log in again. So just be careful though. This one it's quite a powerful tool in terms of erasing your local data and your user profile for the student then to re-log in. Everything was in the cloud, so it wasn't a problem. But just take note, it's not something that you want to be doing all the time. Unless the app seriously keeps crashing and there's definitely a problem with it, then you could definitely go that way. There are lots of useful options as well. You've got text prediction. I know with Gmail, when you're typing, it will automatically try to figure out what you're typing before you even type it, right? That is text prediction. So yes, you can actually switch that on. So then it tries to guess what you're trying to type. And the more you use it, it's going to try to understand you. And remember, it's using AI. It's going to try and understand what you're doing. You can also open a mobile view. Well, if you're on a mobile device, that's fine. Especially like Word and Excel and PowerPoint, because they are squashed up, but you can still use them. They're not too bad. So you can play around with these settings. That's really what I want you to do. Play around and see which setting suits you, because it's not going to suit everyone. Especially the light, the dark, the system default. Go play around with that as well, because how it performs is definitely going to have a huge bearing on that. I wonder why people are asking, am I on main campus? Clearly I'm not. Anyway, unless I'm hiding under a chair or something. All right, so those are the settings you can have a look at. Then you've got search and those type of things. So let me quickly just move my phone. Okay, so I'm just going to actually pop this up and then I'm going to show you guys. So the search function is quite useful because if you've got lots of files and folders, it allows you to quickly find them. And you'll notice it actually where it stores the information is also very important. It's also very important for you to know, where am I saving? Is it on my phone, or is it in my library or my files, or is it, where is it? Where is it saving? On the cloud. So you must always take note of where it saves, because that's something that's quite important. So let me quickly show you now, since I've opened the app on my phone. So there we go, there's Copilot. So this is basically how it's going to land now for you. And at the bottom of the screen, you can just see Copilot over here at the bottom. The same little guy that we used. And it's so polite as well. You see, it really knows who I am. How does it know that? Because I'm logged in as me. So hence, it really knows. Here's the scary thing, guys. Previously, last year, we were telling it my name, I'm living in Polokwane. It knows information. Now when I said hello, guess what? It actually remembers. Now it says, how's your morning going in Polokwane? That's scary. It remembers you, because remember, the more you use it, it's going to build a profile. So there's a classic example. So let's have a quick look at this interface. So I'm just going to click over here. We've got the little hash. So there you'll find there's your Copilot chat. So whatever you do in Copilot on your desktop, on your laptop, is synchronizing with this one on your actual mobile device. So that's very important to remember. They are synchronizing, which means it uses data, but it also keeps track of you. So for me, there's my agents. I've got my idea agent and my get agent. So that's exactly what I've got on my desktop. There they are. I could actually go see my conversations. There's all my history. There we go. What sus means. I was just playing around with that. Okay, there's the page. Okay, I don't have any pages that I've looked at. There's my search. There's my notebook. And then, of course, there's the create option, which is quite important. Just at the bottom, I just want to see if I can resize this thing a little bit. Okay, so yeah, that's a little bit better. There at the bottom, you can see there is my profile. So there you can see my profile over there at the bottom of the screen. So if I click on that little gear icon, those are all the settings that I was just showing you that you can go play around with and try to set it up the way it will work nicely for you so that it's just easier for you to work. Any apps that you guys use on your phone have the same principles here and go play around with them as well. Okay, so that's really where you're going to be sitting over there. So it's quite a simple interface. And you can actually just see it basically right like that. So we're going to look at the create function. So let's quickly go back to the slides. So part of why we want you guys to use this app is the fact that you've got it, great. But how can I use it for my studies? Because that's really something that you might want to do. Yes, Arswat, you might have a different license because Richard and myself, we're part of the project. So you might not have notebooks as such because it might be a license thing because our license is one step above because there's different work that we do. So that's most likely why notebooks is not there. But just also make sure if you've updated the app because I know a lot of these updates then it constantly changes as well. All right, so scan feature. All right, so let's have a look at the scan feature. How can I use it for my studies? So when I click on create, you'll see that it gives you like images. I mean, this is popping up by default, but there you'll see there's the scan option right over here. So I'm just going to click on it. All right. Now let me find a quick document. So what I'm doing is I'm going to show you using something that was written in pencil. All right, so you've got to move your mobile around a little bit, hit the button. Okay, you're going to have to practice this. And there we go. Okay, so there you've got basically, I've taken a scan of my handwritten in pencil document that maybe I needed for my assignment. Or I've made notes and now I'm going to travel and I'm not going to take my notes with me, but now it's on my phone and I can actually study while I'm sitting in the plane or wherever I'm going. So this is quite fun. So now I can go have a look at what features does it give me. So I can rotate it depending how I took the picture. I can actually take a retake. So if I didn't like this one, I click on the button and it says, okay, let's try and do that again. The nice thing is you'll notice the AI model is trying to pick up the borders of the page. So I'm going to try again. Take a better pick. Okay, that looks a bit better. All right, and then you can also move the borders around. So you can actually go play around how you want to crop it, basically. But it's not necessary. It's up to you, though. Oh, wonderful. People are sending me WhatsApps. Okay, so there we go. So I've made a nice picture of something written. Okay, handwritten. But I also want to show you, and let's use this newspaper right next to me. All right, I'm going to take a quick pic. So I'm just going to hit this button over here to take another picture. So in other words, I've done one scan, but now I want to do another scan. So I'm going to take this document here, it's some article in a newspaper, and I'm going to take a quick pic because maybe I can't read the newspaper now, but I want to read it when I'm busy driving. Not driving, that'll be terrible, but when I'm traveling, someone else is driving, and then I can quickly take a quick scan of it. And so you get the same features over here. You can scan more, all right? If you hit the button, it just wants to scan more, but let's quickly have a see. You'll see there's always these little sidebars, so you can sort of just narrow it if you really want to. Totally up to you. All right, but there we go. All right, then you can say review and edit. All right, so when you get to review and edit, here's another nice feature. First one you got is the cropping tool. So it means now I can say, okay, you know what? I don't need all that information. I don't need all that information. Let me just move it away. I actually just want to focus just on this piece here. Then I can crop it. Then I hit the button. And now you see it becomes much bigger, right? Awesome. Then I can say, okay, let me just make a note. Let me use blue. This person here, this is what I'm interested in. I'm just going to make a little note about this. And the event was a huge success. Okay, that's interesting. There were 18 teams. Now I'm making some notes for myself. Yes, depending if you need glasses, Vanessa, you might need to enlarge this as well. All right, so there we go. Then I can say, okay, let me put some text in. All right, what is this text? Let me say article info. So now I can remind myself, okay, that's what it is. Right, there it is. I can just move it around a little bit. Okay, so that's basically now what the information is that I want. Right, and then you can go play around with all the other features. I mean, it'll take you the whole day. Yeah, driving, that is illegal. Definitely do. Definitely not driving and doing what I'm doing now. That would be very bad. And then you can click on finish. Right, then once you're done, all right, it's going to then say to you, do you want this as a photo or a PDF? Now, if this is an assignment, guys, let's say this is my assignment that I'm putting together. I definitely want it as a PDF because I know my UNISA wants PDFs. So great, then I can do that. But then it even tells me, okay, what size do you really want? Original size, medium size, small size. In other words, the data size. Okay, be careful with going small because the quality might go a little bit down. So that makes it a bit tricky. And then, of course, you can even go and share this or save it to your phone or save it to your OneNote. You've got all these different options, totally up to you. Where do you want to save it to? So let me zap save to OneDrive. And then it says, okay, now it's just going to open my OneDrive and I'm just going to say save here. And there we go. Then you'll see it pops up. Do you want to view? And I can say, yeah, sure, let's have a view. Now, depending on your internet speed, you'll see that this list, you'll have to refresh it, and that's quite common. I'm just going to wait. There it is. Scan drive 1035, which is about 3 minutes ago. There's the document that I've quickly just shared. So guys, you can actually create your own study notes now that you can use. Okay, it's saying here, step one, blah, blah, blah. No, thank you. I don't want you to do that. And there we go. So there's my PDF. So you can see my daughter's wonderful scribble. And then if you go down, there's your article that you just created. Beautiful. Microsoft Lens, yes, that's also quite a good one for scanning documents as well. Why are we showing you this one is, Kanisa, because it's actually all inside the Microsoft 365 app, which actually makes it a little bit easier to navigate with all the other things that you're doing. Yep, so that does happen to do. It all depends on the internet connection as well. So my creations, just for interest's sake, guys, my creations is this little folder that you'll see right on the top right side. So if you just want to quickly go to my creations, that's the easiest way to actually find all the documents that you're getting. Just take note, you must synchronize it as well, hey? That's generally what we do in our laptops. We synchronize it, and then you'll see that your files should be popping up there as well. Right, I'm not sure the explore images. I have no idea where it's thinking these images, what I'm looking for, but it's like all over the show. Anyway, okay, great. All right, so let's go see. So that's your scan tool. Quite useful, nice to use. Now we're going to look at the extract tool. So let me get my app back up again. So again, you click on create. Okay, let me just go back one step. So if you click on this little guy, you go to create, it should bring you back here. The interface might be a little bit different. It might change, it's ever changing. Then you find the option that says create. It really picks up a whole bunch of documents from your device because remember, it's accessing your files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, nah, let's take a photo rather. Let me grab my newspaper again. Right, so here I see they've given us some Bowls lingo. No idea what that is all about. So what I'm going to do is I've got an article and it's got some numbers in. So I'm going to scan this one. Oh no, did I use the wrong thing? Okay, let me go back. Sorry, I think I used the scan option, not the extract option. Even this menu has just changed for me. Yep, I just want to make sure I've got the right tool. Okay, yeah, of course, it's taking a picture. What am I doing? Oh, yes, never mind. Okay, let me do it again, because we do need to take a picture. Let me say review and edit. Finished. It's just working on a response. So this is the power of AI. Now it starts to jump in, and it's actually going to try and extract this data for me. Don't worry, we will share the recording. The recording is always on our YouTube channel, so everything we've done today will also be on the YouTube channel for Adov. We will share it in the chat shortly as well. Wow, it is taking its time. Okay, then now you'll see the AI pops up here. How clever is this? And it says, do you want me to summarize? Do you want me to extract? Do you want me to create a glossary, a quick reference? So you can see our AI is really integrated into a lot of things that we want to do. So for me, I'm just going to say, you know what, let me just summarize. That will be great, because that's really all what I want. I wanted that information from this, but I want you, AI, to summarize it for me. And it does take a little bit of time because now it's busy using the data and the internet connectivity. Again, very, very useful feature, guys. If you've got a tutorial letter and there's a text that you need to go read, and there we go. So there it's actually done that article, summarized it for me, made it in point form. Brilliant. Now I've got that information on my device. How cool and interesting is that? Straightforward. All right, so let's see what else we can do. I just see it's a little bit squashed on my screen now. Let me see if I can go back. Thank you. Okay, I'm just trying to get back to my original screen. Okay. So yeah, so play around with this tool. There is a translate option as well, although it's moved again today. So when you copy things, you can actually translate it, but although it's very limited in which languages that you want. So yeah, so that's also one catch. If you want the text as is, that usually is how it comes out. But I see my interface has changed again. Let me see if I can get back to the one I just did this morning. So there you can see I've actually extracted it just like that. Okay, let me give me a second. I just want to try a trick or two. Okay, let me get my document. I'm just going to see if I can get the extract text to come through exactly how I wanted it to be, because it's very good at doing that. So let me just quickly check. If I actually put it on the screen, hey. Okay, so I've just tried to do the text again. I just want to see which the option is, because they're not giving me many options anymore. Yeah, see, now it's only basically the AI function is kicked in and it basically can't answer the phone now. So yeah, that's a problem there. Oh man. Doesn't help when people are phoning you. Okay, we might just have to fiddle again to figure out what happened to the option that allows you to simply extract as is. Let me fiddle a bit. I'll see if I can figure it out again like I used to do it, because this app has just updated itself quite literally. So yep, that's why it looks a little bit different than what it used to be. Right, the third option we've got is dictate. So this one is also quite very useful because what you can do here is, again, for making study notes, this is quite useful. So how this works is you're basically going to speak to your phone and it's going to record it for you. So all you're going to do is you're going to hit the microphone button. There we go. Right. And then as you're speaking, it is now going to capture everything you are saying. Although I'm speaking just English, okay, fine. It's actually going to just record. It's not 100% correct, but it's going to really try and record everything that you're saying. So there we go. As you can see on the screen, it's busy capturing everything that I'm saying to you guys. So on a Friday, the 20th of February, 2026. So it's not bad. It's actually pretty cool. So you can actually summarize, you can make some articles. Yeah, exactly. You can summarize your tutorial letters, but these are notes that you can maybe listen to as well. So I'm just going to hit the stop button. Okay, and then it says finish, and I say, yes, sure, I'm finished. So every time you hit the button, you simply hit it again and you can keep recording. Then what will happen is, Lindo, Richard, please contact Lindo. Please. Yep, so then what you can do is you can go to your creations folder in the top right. Just wait for it to update. There we go. Hit the little button there. Then it's going to open basically everything that you captured. All right, and then you can hit the play button. And what happens is it's actually going to read it back to you. All right, and then as you're speaking, it is. Oh, wait, give me a second because wait. I want to make sure. Oh, my share is with sound, right? You heard that? Did you hear me? Just English? Okay, fine. Can you hear me speaking again? The notes? Just say yes in the chat, please. 100% correct, but it's going to really try and record everything that you are saying. Okay, super. I just wanted to make sure because I remember now I was sharing. So there we go. So there we go. Come on, why are they bugging me? Anyway, that's the fun thing of sharing your phone. You get people bugging you. Anyway, so that's nice. Then a very nice feature that you can also make some study notes and then, of course, record yourself and yeah, have some fun with this as well. So these three little things, you can see they're pretty powerful. They can help you quite a lot. And of course, it does allow you to enhance your studies. You will also see that under the create option, we are just going to click on view more. You've got your Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those apps as well. For the third version of the masterclass, we are going to be delving more into those applications. So that will be coming up. And we'll actually explore like story and poster and infographic and that type of thing as well. So that will also enhance your studies and your research and the work that you're doing. So if you hit Word, you'll see it opens up in a nice Microsoft Word document. And then you'll see at the bottom, you've got all these templates, typical Microsoft. They always give you the templates that you can actually use. So yes, there we go. So these features are pretty useful. You've already got the app. You can log in. You can start using them. You can really organize yourself around your studies to make sure that you are able to do this and maximize your device. As I said, it's actually very useful. So there I'm opening Microsoft Word. And the great thing is, guys, because it's online and it's in the cloud, it automatically saves. So even if your phone dies for whatever reason, the last thing that you've typed is automatically saved. So immediately it's saving all the time as well. So you won't actually lose anything. That applies also if you're accessing Office on your desktop or your laptop, because it also then, if it's connected to the internet, it will save immediately for you. So it's really, really useful features. As I'm saying, you guys do have access to this. See, there's a little microphone option. So you can actually type to Word and it can type up for you. That's great. If you don't want to type, you can use this to type for you. But please just go edit it because some words it doesn't quite pick up and then it comes out a little bit funny like that. But I hope you guys can see that this app is quite useful. And the fact that it has got your AI as well, Copilot built into it, it really can enhance your studies and you can really go and push and see what's available as well. So yeah. There we go. So that's basically the Microsoft app. But as I said, for version 3, we are going to be including a lot more information as well. Right. So in the course itself, guys, please, there are two other things you need to do. The course evaluation. as well as the post-course assessment. So those are very important in terms of the course that we're developing. So I'm going to put them in the chat for you. Let me just get the slides open. So please do use it. Your feedback is absolutely very important to us because it does make a big difference. And that's how we got to where we are with these courses that we're offering you guys, is based on feedback that we did right in the beginning of this project. That allowed us then to identify areas that students definitely need in their studies. Okay, hi Nasehu, it's okay if you came a bit late. This app is called Microsoft. I'm just going to put it in the chat for you guys. It's 365. The name keeps changing, but hopefully this name will stay the same, Copilot. And you can download it, but please log in with your Microsoft 365. Oh no, how did my name become David? Richard, was that you? Okay, just ignore. I think that should be your name, not my name. That's quite fun. Thanks for that. I'll just quickly edit it. Yeah, no, it should be name, not my actual name. Anyway, that's what happens when you use AI too much. It creates its own thing. So yeah, that should be your name, guys, not my name. Anyway, all right, thank you for that, guys. Okay, just also with the sharing and the recording, let me quickly get that for you as well. Let me just share the screen, and you guys can also see where I'm going. So you can go to ADVH, not there, but actually in YouTube. And you can do a quick, it's probably the first one that will open for me. So there you can actually see the live event there running and all sorts of other things popping up. So there we go. So there is the YouTube channel, guys. Hopefully you'll get to meet Lawazi. That is our robot. Yes, we actually have a robot, and yes, it uses AI, and yes, you can have a conversation with it. It's quite cool. The only problem is the little bugger is very heavy, and it takes two of us to move her around. But yeah, she's a heavy little chap. So there is the recording. Okay, so if I quickly click on it, it'll take me directly to the recording link. So I'm just going to post that as well for you. And you can access these recordings all the time, guys, anytime you want. And you can also see for yesterday's lesson as well, if you didn't join the AI masterclass, you can just click on live. And I think it will be in this list. Okay, there's me, there's Asazi. There it is over there. Yeah. We also did host a hackathon information session. So if you're interested in that one, some very awesome prizes, I must say. You can also have a look at that one there as well. You can use any language, and it looks like it's going to be a fun thing as well. So you can actually see all the different things. Yeah, we were at Rage Expo. Yep, so we were there last year. So you see, Adolf, we go everywhere to explore the technologies that can make a difference to students. And yeah, exam training and all sorts of things you can find in there. You can also go check the playlists. Makes it a little bit easier. Here we had the metaverse, although that's quite a challenge with internet, but it was not too bad. And then you can actually see all the different things. There's hair tech and whatnot. So yeah, so this is very useful for you guys, and it's definitely something you can use with your studies as well. Right, so I know we were meant to finish around about 11:30, but as you can see, it's a Friday. People are WhatsApping me. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. It's great. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying it with us. Miraculous ladybug. Awesome stuff. Really appreciate your time. I know time is important, especially to students and data, so we do really appreciate it. I hope you guys have learned a lot. So please do use the course feedback and the post-assessment. Complete these courses. As we said, there is part of your co-curricular. As far as I know, that system basically updates every morning. So if you complete it today, it should be on your record for tomorrow already. Well, I hope it's that quick. It should be. But I hope you guys have learned a lot. So in the chat, if you want, just post in something that you really felt this is changing your life, making your studies more fun, or something that you can definitely use. We do appreciate all your feedback. But otherwise, guys, have a beautiful weekend. Look after yourself, study hard, and we'll definitely be seeing you again with our training sessions that we're going to host. So have a brilliant day further. Take care, guys.